From 14 years old until 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, I was addicted to alcohol. What started off as me and the boys stealing some liquor from our parents turned into me drinking about 2 liters of vodka per day before I asked for help. The fact that I'm here, able to make this video, is kind of a miracle in and of itself, and it's been a long time coming, to be honest. Throughout my entire recovery process, I have documented everything. What worked for me, what didn't, what things I've tried, what alternative things I had to give up, what things were like for me relationally. So the amount of stories I could share, the amount of topics we can cover is seemingly endless. And moving forward on this channel, videos will be a little more structured. For this first video though, I just kind of wanted to give some background on my addiction history and really just set the tone for what I want this channel to be. So while alcohol was my worst or most dangerous addiction, I have been addicted to anything and everything that is even the least bit addictive. Video games, sports, gambling, women, pills, the gym, eating, not eating. Literally, you name it, at some point I was probably powerless to it. Nicotine. I just quit nicotine again, for the second time actually. I'm about 5 days in, I'm feeling good, a little irritable. The sleep is definitely suffering, but even with getting like half the amount of sleep I was getting while I was on Zins, the amount of energy I have is through the roof. You can't even compare it. And that's a big reason why I wanted to make this channel in the first place. Addiction is often treated as this thing that you just have to kind of white knuckle your way through. You know, if you ever tell someone you are struggling with addiction or, you're about to give something up, odds are the only feedback you're going to get is like that shit's going to suck. They're going to tell you, you're in for a tough week, 2 weeks, month, the rest of your life even. How often do you hear people say this is a lifelong battle? It doesn't have to be. People tie themselves to these vices, to these struggles, to these things that they can easily replace. And, they treat it as this disease laying dormant in them. I don't want to sound full of myself. I don't want to sound like I think I'm the fucking man. But what I have found in these past 5 years is you can eradicate these things completely. It's not by just sitting there and powering through until you no longer feel a desire to do these things. You have to take your negative habit and replace it with a healthier one. That's the only way, and I'm going through this right now with nicotine again. Like I said, alcohol has been my worst addiction, but nicotine has actually been my longest running one. Alcohol, I was, an addict for 7 years about. With nicotine, it's been closer to 8 or 9. I quit nicotine once before about 2 years back. It was mostly vaping then. Got hooked on Juul in high school. I feel like that's similar for a lot of you guys out there, but yeah, it just carried with me for a while. Shit's hard to kick. I was going through a pot a day pretty easily, and up until I quit about 2 years back, I have been doing about a tin of Zins a day. I just got sick of it, man. I got sick of spending the money, being like a slave to something again. Like with alcohol, I swore that off for good. Nicotine, at the time when I was quitting, I was like, I just need a break. The day I quit, I had a full pack of Juul pods in one day. 4 pods, the full pack in one day. One pack. No, one pod is not easy to go through in a day. The one pack just disgusted me, man. Like, I don't even know how that's possible now, looking back at it. I must have been ripping that more than I was breathing normally. It's so gross. So that was back in 2021, about a month and a half, 2 months into me quitting drinking. And my nicotine intake definitely increased because I stopped drinking. I quit my biggest addiction. I was using something else to kind of plug that hole. But nicotine is not what I intentionally used to quit alcohol, which that whole scenario deserves a video on its own. So I'm going to cover that at a later time. But I just want to make that disclaimer because I know I'm talking about, you need to replace your addictions. But going from alcohol to nicotine does me no good. They're both negatives. They're both like things your parents warn you about to never do too much of. So instead, I wanted to make that distinction to highlight how these things numb you. When I was using both, it was so hard to get any clarity. So hard, especially with drinking. The repeated blackouts, things like that at that level, like it is so hard to to break through the fog. You're living in this haze that is like almost inescapable. And you have these like come back to yourself moments where you get these brief glimpses of clarity of your old self. And it is so important to jump on those, take advantage of them, and stop whatever it is you're doing. And again, I bring up that I quit alcohol a month or two before because that sobered me up enough to then look at all areas of my life where I was powerless to something, where I needed to make a change. And more than anything, what this clarity did for me was piss me off, dude. Like in recent years, I have really benefited from taking rage, anger from my current situation and turning that into something positive. Using that to fuel new habits, taking it to the gym, whatever that may be. Even just the last few days of me not mindlessly participating in this habit has opened my eyes more than enough to realize I need to make change happen. But yeah, if you see the title of this video, I'm sober, I'm kicking all these things, but I feel like I have never been more addicted to anything than my damn phone right now. And that might be recency bias. Looking back, like, it's not as consequential. It's not dangerous in the traditional sense. Like, when I was drinking, I had one foot in the grave. On any given morning, like, there was a good chance I wasn't going to wake up just based on how much I was drinking. The phone is nothing like that. Nothing like that. But I just feel so fucked, man. This shit is like beating my ass, bro. I know more and more as of late, people are, they look at video game addiction, phone addiction. They take that more seriously than they would have in the past. But the feelings, the emotions, everything that this addiction, overuse of my phone brings out of me was identical to any hard substance, any drink, anything like that I've used in the past, which is terrifying. Like, not only I think it's so scary because the ease of access. Everyone has a phone. Like, my mom is addicted to fucking Instagram reels, scrolling. She'll show me video after video. She'll text me shit. I don't even have Instagram. I've never had social media. I just kind of missed the boat on all that, and I'm so fucking glad I did. But even still, like, YouTube Shorts, it is kicking my ass, dude. I can't imagine what it's like for younger kids. I'm 26 years old. I can't imagine what it's doing to kids right now. I open up YouTube on my phone, immediately starts playing shorts. I don't even have a fucking option. YouTube is just deciding for me. Nothing I could do about it. You can't disable shorts, nothing. So before I know it, 20 minutes have gone by. It's not even my fucking choice. And that's just the first time I open the app that day, And it just sets the tone for every other time I use that shit. Every time I sink 15, 20 minutes, an hour into these videos. When I go to piss, like, everyone does this, you reach for your phone in your pocket. You can't have those 20 seconds of just quiet time. The stream into the bowl isn't fucking cutting it, Like, this is pissing me off that I do this shit. If we're being completely honest, I don't even think nicotine was my biggest addiction as of late, which is crazy to say. I'm doing a tin of fucking Zins a day, but I think I chose the lesser of two evils when quitting Zyn. I think I chose to quit what I thought would be easier for me, which is, if anyone has quit nicotine out there, like, it's tough, dude. It's tough. So to say that about nicotine compared to the addiction I have with my phone is just like, that's scary. That's scary. And I think I'm too afraid to part ways with this thing in a lot of ways. But I will say, quitting Zyn, it's just opened my eyes. And with this, like, the logical, healthy replacement to me is creating this shit rather than consuming it. And creating what I want to consume, but I'm oftentimes already too distracted to rein myself in, to get myself to sit down and fucking listen to someone else, think a little bit, learn maybe. It's not a huge risk to assume it'll be more productive for me in the long run than scrolling my life away. So we're going to try this out instead. And rather than just making this a space for me to rant or hold myself accountable, I also wanted this to be a more collaborative space. I think young men in general, are really starved for open, honest conversation and spaces where they could ask questions without fear of being judged, fear of looking or sounding stupid. Like everyone watching this, I was you at one point in time. I was starting from scratch, below scratch, less than zero, and had to figure out my way back. So if you have any questions, feedback, video ideas, things you want to talk about, just drop them below. And hope you guys enjoyed. Be on the lookout for new videos, and I'm looking forward to doing this. I really am. It's been a long time coming, and if just one person finds this channel and finds it helpful, I'd consider that a win. So, hope you guys stick around. Peace.